Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman met with the media on Thursday afternoon to discuss several topics, and you better believe that the quarterback position was one of them, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video with Jack Sobel. Folks, please hit the thumbs up on this particular video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Of course, head over to blueandgold.com for much more coverage on Fighting Irish football. I want to start real quick, Jack. Did you get a vibe? To me, watching it, Freeman just seemed a little bit more serious, answers a little bit shorter, almost annoyed, like just very businesslike. Did you get that vibe at all?
Yeah, certainly more than last week. I think Freeman definitely tries to keep the vibe the same for his press conferences, but obviously circumstances often dictate that. So I think he probably wanted to be there less than usual. It's been a long week. No one should feel sorry for him or anyone else, but it's been a long week, so you do kind of understand that.
So he talked about what the quarterbacks have looked like this week. He said it's been a great week for Riley Leonard. Said he had good decision making. Everyone else has been doing a great job, and he did add, no one has been asked to do anything different than previously. At least paraphrase. I jotted that down in real time. Any thoughts on that? Anything else to add?
I mean, it's not surprising. I do think that, it's very possible Riley could have had a great week of practice. It's also true that if he threw an interception in every other play, Freeman would still have told us today he had a great week of practice. But it's all they can say at this point. You're not going to publicly bash your quarterback before a game. And to be clear, like, he is still their quarterback, unless Freeman's outright lying, like he's going to start on Saturday. How long his leashes are, Tyler Horka actually pretty much asked that question. We don't know, but I suspect that there is a leash there that if we see more of the same at some point, they're probably going to turn to Steve Angeli.
Yeah, going to Tyler's question, he said, I know after the game, you said that there was no consideration to play Steve, which Freeman doubled down on. He said there was not any consideration, but Horka's question was basically going back and watching the tape. Did you learn new things, in evaluating this offense, and what are the parameters of making moves? So many times in the YouTube comments, and Goolsby talks about this a lot, like, I just wish the media would ask the tough question. That was definitely one. Horka straight up asked Freeman, what are the parameters for making a move at the quarterback position? What did Freeman have to say in response?
Well, I should first say that when we get asked, media should ask a tough question, or we get told that, it's usually like, why aren't you asking, why does your quarterback stink? Which we're not going to ask me, but yeah, it was a tough question. From Tyler, and Freeman pretty much said, there are parameters, is what he said. He's not going to dive into specifics like what exactly he would need to see out of Riley Leonard to put Steve Angeli in the game, but moving the ball, passing yards, passing efficiency, scoring points. Like, if that's not up to par, like, there's probably a point where they would go to Steve Angeli against Purdue.
Yeah, I had jotted down. He said, I don't know if there's an exact parameter, but like, we have to move the ball. If we don't do that, we have to make a change. So yeah, guys, there's not like a score sheet here that Freeman has, or Anthony Tresh standing behind him has. Like, it's more of just like a flow of the game in the moment kind of thing. So I know a lot of folks in our YouTube comments want to see CJ Carr, and Freeman was asked about Carr, and he mentioned that Carr is rotating on the scout team, but he also said one interesting thing, Jack. I'm curious for your thoughts on this. He said also reps with the offense. Maybe he's getting some second team reps or something.
Yeah, it didn't sound like anything more than like standard procedure for a freshman who you think is your quarterback of the future, which by all accounts he probably is. I don't know if I would read too much into that. He said that he and Minchie are splitting reps in the scout team, so the reps have to come somewhere. I don't know if they'd do this during the game week, but like early in camp, they were having the like freshmen and guys who probably aren't going to play this year do team on a different field. So maybe he's referencing that. It could be a number of things. I would be surprised if he's getting any reps with the first team or second team offense.
Yeah. It's Riley and Angeli. That's what it is. Just at the quarterback position right now. Next year could be a different story, or knock on wood, you have a quarterback who's unable to play. But for Purdue, like Jack mentioned, unless we're just straight up not getting the truth, Riley will go out there as the first team quarterback, and how long of a leash he has is to be determined. My personal feeling on the matter is that it's not a long leash.
Yeah.
That's still subjective, but I personally would not be shocked for, or if one reason or the other, we see Steve Angeli on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see. I do think that they would like to not do that if at all possible, because I mean they kind of told us what they thought about. I said this on the show last night. Like they kind of told us what they thought about Steve Angeli's ceiling when they brought in Riley Leonard. So their hope, I'm sure, is that Riley shows significant improvement and gives them confidence that he can be the guy to take them where they want to go late this season and go on a run after the NIU loss. But obviously, if he doesn't show that improvement, like they have to go with the guy who gives them the best chance to win. So I think it's a move that they don't want to make, but one that they will if they have to.
Wrapping up on the defensive ends, Freeman talked about that. I thought that was another interesting part of the press conference.
Yeah, with Joshua Burnham questionable, the question from the reporter was framed as Joshua Burnham's out, which officially he's questionable. But we'll see if he can go with that ankle that he suffered towards the end of the NIU game. If he cannot go, RJ Oben will start, and Freeman said RJ Oben had a good week of practice, which again he would say regardless of whether he actually had a good week of practice. So RJ Oben will start. Bryce Young, Freeman said will see the field. Likely, especially if Burnham can't go. And regarding Jason Anye, who played some defensive end reps late in the game, he said that was kind of part of like a big personnel package, where they were kind of going some short yardage. Maybe they were just sick of being run on so much that they put 3 different defensive tackles in the game. Who knows? But it's not a position change or anything for Jason Anye. He's a defensive tackle. He just played some reps at end out of necessity. Whether we could see that again, Freeman said, who knows if they need to go to that big grouping again, then sure. But it's not a regular part of the game plan, I would think.
All right. So, I mean, there were other topics for the press conference, but nothing too notable for this video. But again, if you want to know what else Freeman had to say, definitely have you covered over at blueandgold.com. So make sure you head over to the site, use that promo code UND1, sign up. It just costs you $1 and you get your first 2 months for just $1. So you use that promo code UND1. That's going to do it for this video, folks. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel here, of course, and we'll catch you next time.